Hello everyone and welcome to Sauron Takes On Legends Arceus. I am finishing this today. This is the final episode. And I know this because I am not recording my audio at the same time as the video. There's going to be some cutaways because holy crud, this took longer than I anticipated. I basically cut like an hour of footage off of this video. But right now we're going to Kagita's. I apologize, my sinuses are acting up. But, yeah, I didn't know how long this was actually going to be. So I do apologize. But, yeah, we're here at Kagita's. We have all the legendaries. We have all the plates, except for, like, 2. So, here you are again. Have you collected all the plates? Of course, Sauron is a famed member of the Survey Corps after all. So what more can you tell us? We're so close now. You must know more about the plates. If there's yet more you want to know, kindly bring me wood. 3 logs will do. Wood? So you're saying wood is somehow tied to the plates? Well, I suppose that's what we're going to learn next. Quite a shame for me to admit, merchant that I am. I'm quite out of wood in my stores just now. I wasn't actually reading half of this stuff. I was pretty tired when I did this, so I was kind of skipping ahead. And I do think the wood hunt that I end up on, I do cut out a little bit. Because I only had 2 pieces of wood here. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. So I'm going to go hunt for wood. That's going to take up some time, so I do cut it out. I also have some new shinies, but I didn't really showcase them here. I think you see them at like the butt end of the video. One of them is Decidueye. Like I caught a shiny Rowlet, which is cool. Decidueye, shiny Decidueye for Hisuian looks exactly like original Decidueye color-wise, which is kind of cool. But you notice it. Yeah, there we go. There's my cruddy transition. So. Oh, there's shiny Togetic and Togekiss. That Togetic was a pain in the butt to catch. Was it worth it? No! The shiny's horrible on this dang thing. The colors are inverted. So, like, what normally is red, the red patterns, are now blue, and vice versa. It's also slightly darker, but, nah. It's a crap shiny. I'm sorry. I don't like it. Spent a while catching it, though. Still caught it. Helped my fiance catch a shiny Growlithe. That's kind of cool. And, yeah, I think she caught a, what is it, Barboach as well. But I ended up with a Rowlet, a Glameow, a Togekiss, or, well, Togekiss now, but Togetic. I think there was another one too, but I don't remember what it was offhand. I think it was like 4 of them that I caught. Oh yeah, Cricketune. I caught a Cricketune now. That's cool, I guess. Cricketoone's meh. Oh, and a Rhydon. That's what I caught. Kindly bring me wood. Have you gathered 3 logs as I requested, Lost One? Oh ho, yes, this will certainly do. Now, the moment comes at last. The big reveal. What, pray tell, does the wood reveal? Secret? Your expectations need tempering, I fear. This wood is merely for fashioning myself new cutting boards. Cutting boards? You mean for cooking? The plates we're after aren't dinner plates. So, jeez Louise. So you complain for shirking his own work this very moment. Poor Ginter of the Ginkgo Guild must have his hands full with you. But honest work earns honest pay. Here you are, Sauron. A reward for the wood you've brought me. I paused for that. Good job. You received the pixie plate. That's one of the plates we're looking for. You just get the plate. Sure. My apologies. That's indeed one of the plates we're searching for. What do you mean, a plate? Let me see that again. This does look like one of the plates you've been tracking down. While the engravings upon it made it less than accommodating as a cutting board, whatever ingredients crossed it certainly gained more pleasant flavor. Perhaps it was the board's power, the plate's power. Well, no more needs saying. What do you two intend to do now? Well, we've managed to collect quite a lot of the plates by now. But I still don't know what we're supposed to do with them exactly. Just a hunch, but perhaps we're going to the Celestial Ruins. Those ruins contain statues of both Dialga and Palkia. I see. A fine pretext to continue shirking your mercantile duties to crawl about old ruins as you so enjoy. On with you, then. I don't need you to tell me. I'm going. Celestica Ruins, then, Sauron. I'll see you there. Go on now. The Celestica Ruins. I'm curious myself as to what you'll find there. What can we who live learn from carved statues? I think this is what she said. Jeez Louise. I was on a time crunch. I was like blowing through this dialogue. Basically, what had happened is that she wanted to give us her old cutting board because there happens to be text on it. And, yeah, it's just a pixie plate, like, straight up. There's a reason for that. You guys will find out later, but it's because she is semi-friends with a legendary Pokemon, but we don't know that quite yet. I got to deal with Giratina first, because that's kind of where I'm going right now, is Giratina. Now, the fight that's coming, I am horridly over-leveled for this fight, so bear with me here. I also had a ton of healing items just in case this became a knockdown, drag-out kind of thing. Apologize, I'm drinking my drink. Look at this, Sauron. This statue is kept here, far from the statues of Dialga and Palkia. Broken and shattered, yet it remains. Do you know what it is? Not at all, even though I totally know what that actually is. It's Giratina. Oh, you're the greatest wielder of Pokemon this land knows. One who could bring low even Dialga and Palkia. But it seems certain things are beyond even your grasp. This crumbling statue was once the figure of a Pokemon. One that was equal to both Dialga and Palkia. Yet banished from our world, the great Pokemon Giratina. It was banished for its violence, left to dwell in a world on the reverse side of our own. It is a being that has lain in wait for the chance to bare its fangs in defiance and tear down Arceus itself. Now tell me, if this Giratina desires more than anything else to challenge almighty Arceus, where do you think it might appear? Mount Coronet, the Temple of Sinnoh. Exactly! Where one is closer to the heavens than any other place in Hisuiya, and where the space-time rift first opened up. I can feel it! We're getting closer to uncovering the secrets of this world. I dare say the excitement is loosening my lips more than it should, but... You see, ever since I was young, whenever I met with something painful or heartbreaking, I couldn't help but wonder why life was so unfair, why I was cursed to live through such things. Of course, I imagine we all go through something like that. Eventually, I chose to direct all my energy into my own natural curiosity and ambition. And what tickled my curiosity more strongly than anything else were the mysteries to be found in legends and myths. You see, I fancied that by unraveling these mysteries, I could find out the world itself came to be, and with that knowledge, maybe even forge a new, better world. Now, if we can find the realm that exists on the reverse side of our world, and meet the Creator's unwanted child banished therein, perhaps we'll be able to understand the almighty Sinnoh itself. Don't you want to see it with your own eyes? We must take to the Temple of Sinnoh. Sure, now I'm not in a hurry. At Mount Coronet's peak, Dialga and Palkia both appeared from within the rift once gaped open there, didn't they? If these plates can call anything at all, it seems likely that's where it would appear. Yeah, I kind of sped through the tent dialogue and then decided to be slow here. Because it kind of dawned on me, I'm like, oh yeah, the video speeds up the frames per second just ever so slightly. I might not want to just blow through dialogue here. So here we are running all the way to this particular situation. Past all these guys. Of course, the roar hits me. This isn't the annoying part. It actually didn't take as long as I was thinking it would to deal with Giratina's situation here. For those of you who don't know, Giratina is obsessed with the number 6. Everything about it reeks of the number 6. And the reason being is because Giratina is the Pokemon equivalent of Lucifer. Yeah, that's a that's a fun picture. But I'm not going to lie, Giratina is actually my favorite of the Sinnoh legendaries. Compared to pretty much everything, even Darkrai, I like Giratina more than I like any other legendary in this game. Well, not in Pokemon per se, but in, like, Gen 4, Giratina is my favorite legendary. This fight, now, if I were properly leveled, this fight would have been a beast and a half. This fight is utter hell. The temple lies in ruin now. Columns cracked and broken, like pillars now turned into spears. Stabbing into the heavens. Spear pillar. Ha! Well, I detect a distinct lack of Giratina. There's something bothering you? I do beg your pardon. I suppose I seem to be behaving strangely. I dare say you deserve to know what I'm really after by now. Ever since I became convinced that Arceus really does exist, there's been one question that consumes my thoughts. How can I meet such a being myself? It was in an attempt to answer this question that I originally sought out Giratina and had it tear open that rift in time and space. AKA, I'm the main bad guy. After all, Giratina wished to stand against Arceus, but that didn't do the trick. So then I had to gather the fragments of all-encompassing deity, just as the murals of the ruins directed. 18 plates said to be the fragments of all-encompassing deity. You hold in your hand 17 of them, so you must be wondering, where's the last one? Why, it's right here, of course. The anime clothes-changing reveal. And now, hand over the plates you've gathered. I'll be the one to bring them all together. But you didn't. My desire to beat Arceus cannot be contained any longer. I need to know what it is. I must know what it is. If I can meet Arceus myself, then I may also be able to subjugate its power. And using that, I will attempt to create a new, better world. Of course, if I create a brand new world, then the Suzuya region that we are currently existing in will be undone and return to nothing. You, everyone you know, and all the Pokemon living here will vanish in an instant, as if you'd never been. If you want to keep this world from disappearing, then face me in battle. Not that you have a choice. Even if you don't wish to battle me, I'm not above using force to take those plates from you. Pokemon wielder Volo challenges you to a battle. Spiritomb, a hell of a first pick. Unfortunately for you, bro, I have a Sylveon. So, this battle, Volo kind of cheats. It used to be that Cynthia was like the nastiest. Of course that missed. That's my luck, too. It used to be that Cynthia was the nastiest champion and one of the toughest boss fights in the entire series. Volo is Cynthia on steroids, and I say that because he basically is. One, he's got more or less a very good replica of Cynthia's team. And then second, and more importantly, he... this is probably one of the few times I use a healing item on a fight like this, but... I'm not a fan of its Spiritomb, I'm not gonna lie. But, yeah, you have to actually fight Giratina. You guys will see it in a second here. But you guys will actually have to fight Giratina in a second, too. So, Volo has 6 Pokemon, like, you know, most champion-level trainers. And then he busts out Giratina, which is like a 7th Pokemon. It's great. Yeah, I'm not surprised that this Roserade causes problems. Goes from... that's one thing that you don't have in the original Diamond and Pearl, though, is you don't really have fairy Pokemon to kind of help out with some of this stuff. Because fairy Pokemon are great up against things like dragon Pokemon. And Spiritomb, for that matter, too. Now, that being said, Roserade is a perfect counter to fairy-type Pokemon because it is poison-type. Which is why I was having a hard time. But I didn't want to switch in another Pokemon and take unnecessary damage. And the reason being is because Arcanine here is Rock-type. And because he's Rock-type, the resistance that he would have to Grass-type moves is now gone. So I didn't really want him taking unnecessary damage here. So he took out Roserade for me. Finished him off, really, because, I mean, Sylveon did a lot of the work there. Lucario. Now, Lucario was kind of a scary situation, too. Because, yes, it's Steel-type, but it's also Fighting-type. So there's a bit of a counter situation here, is I can hit it with a super effective Fire-type move. It can hit me with a super effective Fighting-type move. That's also another reason why I didn't want to damage Arcanine unnecessarily, because his nastiest move is Flare Blitz, or at least it's his best move. Hits 100% accuracy and is pretty powerful. It's not as powerful as his Raging Fire move, but it's still pretty powerful, and with the 100% accuracy, it helps a lot. Yeah, I was trying to run from that. I still got hit. Yeah, Garchomp came in and earth-powered me. Remember this, though. This situation, because Turnabout is fair play. Anyway, it's time for me to take on this Garchomp, and that's one of the scariest Pokemon that you have to deal with in this fight. Garchomp is a beast. Dragon ground type, but it's quad weak to ice, so yeah. Ice moves do help a lot. And my Walrein is at level 84. So, yeah, I'm way over leveled in this fight. And even with that, this dude is still kind of tough. Hey, look, it's an Arcanine. That's funny. So we got 2 moves in before I could fight, which is great. But, like I said, Turnabout is fair play. What's that? You destroyed my Arcanine with a Garchomp and Earth Power? Let me show you my giant Garchomp. And it's Earth Power, too. The cool thing is Earth Power is like quad effective against Arcanine here. Because, again, Rock and Fire both are super effective if you use ground-type attacks. Ground-type attacks are super effective against it. Here was a bit of a tougher situation because Togekiss does kind of count as a Fairy-type Pokemon and isn't a bad counter for Dragon-type. But, is it Fairy-type? I can't remember if Togekiss is Fairy-type or not. I think it is. I think they ditched the normal typing with Fairy-types instead. That was his last Pokemon, too. But, why? Why you? Why do you have the blessing of Arceus? Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, that was a quick fight. You crushed him. That's true. But like I said, Giratina is still around. And this counts as a 7th Pokemon. Why? How? I've devoted my life to searching Arceus beyond any other. I worshipped it as a creator of the entire world. Spent all my passion and interest into its study. All the time I've spent poring over the legends. Everything that I've done. You, outsider, it's almost as if you were spat out of the space-time rift just to get in my way. I mean, I probably was, bro. Just saying, I probably was. No,
No, this isn't finished yet. Can't you feel it? The chill creeping through your veins. The eldritch presence icing your heart.
Here he comes. Volo's 7th Pokemon. It's technically not his, but that's beside the point. Here's the thing. Volo, you didn't do any of the work yourself, bro. You got Giratina to kind of back you up, and that was about it. Look at all those 6s. 6 legs, 6 arm cuff things. Oh, I forgot to read that. Whoopsie. Oh, well. I was admiring Giratina here. Oh, man. Go Goodra. I didn't necessarily intend to start this with Goodra, but I figured a Steel-type tank might be helpful, even with possible Dragon-type attacks. I didn't really know what Giratina was packing here. But Goodra was able to at least survive, so what I decided to do was revive my Sylveon, because it's Fairy-type. Ah, Shadow Force. So, I eventually decided to use Iron Head, because it's about the only thing I really have left. Goodra's unfortunately going to go down. I love Goodra, but I actually love Hisuian Goodra. Like, for some reason, I've grown really attached to Hisuian Goodra. I decided to also, like, revive my Walrein, too, instead of using Iron Head. Because a good Ice-type Pokemon's not going to hurt in this fight. And I don't know how nasty Giratina actually is going to be here. I know I'm over-leveled, but you never know. So I bust out Sylveon. The reason I used Max Revive. And it was time to absolutely crush Giratina's hopes and dreams. Funny how the cutest thing is just going to wreck him up. I'm going to turn on the fan blade, by the way, guys. I apologize if you can hear the sound in the background here, but it's kind of warm in here. So I get 2 hits off. Giratina's already hurting, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, this isn't too awfully bad. Yeah, it's a 7th Pokemon, but that's pretty easy. Notice, though, I'm running out of play roughs. And Giratina counts as 2 Pokemon because the damn thing transforms after you defeat it. So you beat it up, and then it transforms, because why the heck not? Into its origin form. And I'm not going to lie, I love its origin form too. I love both forms of Giratina. Giratina's amazing. Such a good Pokemon. So there goes my Sylveon. So I'm kind of hurting at this point. Despite the fact that, you know, I'm using full revives and everything like that, and I'm over-leveled, I'm still actually having a bit of a hard time with this whole fight. Because it's basically like fighting 8 different Pokemon, and it's a tough fight for sure. Plus, Giratina is a legendary, so yeah, Volo cheats. It's just straight up Volo cheats. Luckily, that Frostbite is going to help me in the end here. There we go. Walrein and Sylveon. Oh. You guys are awesome. Finally beat Giratina. I like how you finally beat Giratina.
Turning tail and running for this puny human. Pathetic. I was the one to feed you the power you needed so that you could take on Arceus. I was the one who gave you the chance to claw open that space-time rift, driving the deity of space and the deity of time mad, so that you could drag the creator out from hiding. How? How could this happen? Almighty Arceus, if you had any heart within you, then tell me. The blood of the ancient Sinnoh people flows in my veins, does it not? What is it, then, that you find so lacking in me? Do you mean to tell me that this world doesn't need to be remade? I can't live in such questions. I can't bear the satisfying this ache to know. Oh, not satisfying this ache to know. Answer me then, Sauron. Do you have some dream that propels you, as I have had?
I do. To crush you.
So you do. Doubtless that dreams of yours would never leave room for dreams of one like mine. Like me.
So you.
I'm the greatest wielder of Pokemon, and you battle alongside your Pokemon. In the end, I was alone, but you will fight together with your Pokemon to seize whatever dream you have. Here, take it. The plate that started me on this path, the plate I once received from Giratina. My journey is over. My story ended when I lost to you.
You're dang straight it did. The spooky plate. Like the goofiest name. I love it. Sorry, Volo. But no, we're not playing that game. You ever notice that he has like the same thing as Cyrus?
I suppose now you've gathered all the plates said to exist in this land of Hisuiya.
And my flute transforms. Let's play the song from Pokemon's second movie.
So that's it. The Asura flute. It comes to you. So Arceus wishes to meet you. Of all people, you had to be the one. Is that why you were brought to this world? Yeah. I've no desire to watch from the sidelines as Arceus comes to you. And I absolutely cannot accept a world in which you would ever manage to defeat Arceus. Someday I'll solve every riddle in the legends of Hisuiya's Pokemon. And one day I'll stand before Arceus at last. No, I'll conquer it. No matter how many years, no matter how many decades, no matter how many centuries it takes me.
I'm really bad at doing his voice. I apologize. It's a bit tough on my voice. Vocal cords there. I basically made him sound like Mayuri from Bleach, the English voice actor. And because of that, I'm an idiot. Because that's a hard voice to do. At least for long periods of time when my throat's dry. But, unfortunately, despite the fact that this battle was very important to the story and everything like that, nothing happened, because I have 4 Pokemon left to complete the Pokedex with. Seek out all Pokemon. Yeah, 4 more. And the first one is going to be a fun one. Giratina. I, of course, res, because I'm not a psychopath, and I don't think my Pokemon got healed at that point. I didn't check. Didn't bother checking. Figured I'd just rest. So, we're going to... I got more information on Togekiss. Still not level 10. I'm going to have to change that. Although I really don't care if Togekiss gets to level 10, other than the fact that you need that at level 10 to get the Shiny Charm. And I do want the Shiny Charm in this game. But... I already have Shiny Togekiss, so it's not like I'm getting it for that. Hey, Sauron! Have you heard? There have been reports that a huge shadow appeared on Cobalt Coastlands, and then just vanished without a trace. Sauron, my girl, you must tell me. You went to the Temple of Sinnoh with Volo, correct? What exactly happened? Oh, an Animal Crossing speak. Okay, gotcha. In that case, the shadow in the Cobalt Coastlands may be none other than Giratina, the Pokemon. Said to have once been banished to the reverse. I do believe this calls for a survey. I agree. The cobalt coastlands are pretty vast. I hope you have some idea where to look. Much as I want to do those massive outbreaks, they're pretty lucrative for shinies. 3 out of the 4 shiny Pokemon I caught since I last talked to you guys were from the massive outbreaks. You know what? I noticed that there's a thunderstorm happening right here. And it's to spite me. This thunderstorm is spiteful and hurtful, and I'm offended by it. The reason being is because, for whatever reason, I have the hardest time getting thunderstorms to spawn in this area. Now, that's not really important right now, and I don't know exactly how important it actually is. I like how it stopped right away, too. But, yeah, getting thunderstorms to spawn in this area is kind of a pain. I hate it. Now, luckily, I already kind of know where Giratina is supposed to be. I was wondering why there's a cave out here that's just kind of there, and I found out, unfortunately, looking it up, that, yeah, there's a legendary Pokemon going to be fought here. I do kind of waste some Pokeballs on Giratina. I'm trying to, like, throw them and catch them. Giratina is not the hard part of this, though. As much as I love this Pokemon, as powerful as it is, this is not the difficult issues that I had here. Whoop. Some video cutting. Malgato did record for a long time. Honestly, if that's the worst that it's going to do, that's not bad. But I do apologize for some video strafing here and there. I like how I walk up to Giratina and he's just kind of staring me down. Then he's like, nope, I choose violence today. I love the animations with its mouth too, by the way. Where it has its mouthpiece and then it kind of moves upwards to roar at you. It's a lot less powerful here, I noticed, too, naturally. Yep, caught it right away. Not bad. And Giratina looks good in an Ultra Ball. A lot of people like to have, like, this color correlation with their Pokeballs. Found something shiny where Giratina was. The greasiest core. This is allowing Giratina to transform into his forms, by the way. Originally, Giratina could only achieve his origin form in the reverse world. But with the core, you can actually just transform it. Now, I do kind of feel a little left out because the reverse world was available in Platinum. And I kind of wish that had some type of purpose here. They didn't even use it in the remakes of Diamond and Pearl. Like, they just, like, forgot Platinum even existed. Whereas the remakes of, like, some of the other games... Oh, Volo returned and told me more about what happened in the Temple of Sinnoh. He said that Giratina, that it chose to protect the land of Hisuiya after discovering it was no match for you. He said we should try to study it and add it to the Pokedex. He wandered off after that, saying this was probably the last time we would meet. But I can't help but feel he's far more invested in our completion of the Pokedex than he would have us know. Caught one Pokemon. Care to report? Yeah, it's Giratina. So I don't skip around here a whole lot. The next couple of Pokemon I'm going after, I skip around quite a bit because there's a lot of RNG involved. So, for those of you who don't know, when you get Giratina, when you get all the normal legendary Pokemon that are part of, like, Gen 4 and everything like that, you'll find out that there's about 4 Pokemon that you're missing. That was a Did I skip that one? Oh, I go to the ancient retreat. No. So I left. I went to the ancient retreat. That's not where you're actually supposed to go. I don't know if I cut this part out or not. Apparently not. I just walk up to Kagita and was like, "Hey, what's up?" And she's like, "Eh, nothing much." There's the skip. What was that about? That skip looked weird. It was like corrupted footage almost. Alright, here we go. This is what you have to go. You have to actually go to the... I've just been told that the foul plan Volo had concocted. Well, think no more on that scoundrel. Just another tale of passion burning too bright and consuming its bear. That is what happens if you allow it to. But what of you? Are you making progress with your... What do you call your studies of Pokemon? Surveying, was it? It's been going alright. Indeed. Well, Hisui still holds more fascinating Pokemon. Shall I speak to you of one of them? Which Pokemon would you like to hear about? Yeah. Tornadoes. In every direction it flies, stirring up tremendous storms. When blizzard batters the Alabaster Icelands, tornadoes may be about. Shall I speak to you one of them? Which one? Thunderous. Thunderous. As it flies around, it fires, blah. And rainstorm lashes the coastlands. Thunderous may be about. It's actually a thunderstorm that you need. Landorus. Landorus is cool. He's just kind of out there. You don't need no stupid weather crap to actually catch him. So, here's the deal. These are the 3 genie Pokemon. They are originally from Gen 5, but for whatever reason they showed up here in Gen 4 remakes. Which is fine. I have no problem with that. The problem is that if you notice, she mentions, she's just talking whatever, but, it's Kagita speak. But yeah, so she mentioned particular weather patterns. This is where things get a little tricky with all of these guys. Tornadoes needs a blizzard happening in the Alabaster Icelands. Why? I don't know. Maybe because of wind? I had to skip all these. It was heartbreaking. Maybe because of wind patterns? I'm not sure, but like... Basically, what the deal was is that you had to... the easiest way to do this was to go and rest until different points in the day until a blizzard was happening. Because that resets the... I hope I skipped through this. I kind of look around first and then realize that there's a problem. So I was thinking snowstorm, and I'm like, yeah, it's snowing, sure. I might have forgot to skip this part. Gonna cut it right out. But yeah, so Tornadus is a flying type Pokemon, pure flying type. He's not ice type or nothing like that. I don't know why he's found here per se, but it's cool that he's in here. And it's a bit of a challenge to catch him, but it's not too bad. Thunderous is the worst out of all 4 of these Pokemon for me. This is me looking it up, by the way. I'm obviously stopping to kind of like, okay, how do I find him? I thought I cut all these parts out, but I must have forgot this one. But yeah, so you need specific weather conditions to meet these Pokemon. They are not only kind of annoying to catch, but they are really challenging to catch. They can kill you pretty easily. They have attack. So what happens is that all these Pokemon shoot up tornadoes when you're trying to get them. And these tornadoes can spawn right where you're standing. And they spawn very quickly. Odds are, if you like remotely stop, if you're not already moving by the time it starts up, you're probably not going to actually dodge it. It's not too bad with Tornadus, because you have the dodge roll. That's fine. No problems there. Even Landorus, no problem. You got the dodge roll. Cool. Thunderous is a bit of a pain in the ass because you don't have the dodge roll mechanic. You have to dodge him while on a ride Pokemon. You have to do it that way. And it's a pain in the ass. Plus, again, getting thunderstorms to actually spawn in Cobalt Coastlands, for whatever reason, was stupidly challenging for me. So every time he'd kill me, which he does a lot, by the way, he kills me like 5 different times, because, again, you can't cheese it like you can any other Pokemon like this. There he is. There's Tornadus. But yeah, Thunderous, you have to play by those rules. And it's a pain in the ass, I'm not going to lie. Then when you die, the thunderstorm oftentimes will despawn. Oops. So now you got to wait for another freaking thunderstorm. That's what drove me up a wall. That was like the worst thing. That's like the majority of like the hour of footage I cut was just waiting for a freaking thunderstorm to spawn in because I couldn't stomach that. I couldn't stomach having that to show you guys. And you kind of saw it here where I'm trying to spawn in a particular blizzard. Like, it's a tough blizzard to spawn in. Not a big deal, you know. But yeah, Tornadus is a bit of a pain in the butt. Mostly because there's a lot of Pokemon around here that are kind of aggressive. All of these Pokemon have Pokemon around them. So, like, Tornadus spawns here with a bunch of Glalie. You can either clear them out or do your best to try and, you know, get rid of them, battle them, do what you can. I have the sticky wall or the sticky balls, so I know how to deal with stuff now. A little bit better, anyway. Stunned him. Got him too. I caught that alpha Glalie, by the way. I don't know. I like Glalie's design. I don't really like using it in battle. Mostly because it's an ice type and there's really not much about it that's kind of cool. I'd rather use Frostlass because at least, you know, that one has a ghost typing to it. But yeah, this is what they do. They run from you. They're fast too. Like, hitting them is hard as freaking hell. And you'll find that out because the fourth Pokemon, Legends Arceus, adds in a fourth genie, Enamorus. And while you don't have to wait for a weather condition, making her slightly easier to deal with than Thunderous, Enamorus is still a pain in the ass to catch compared to Tornadus and all of the other ones. I'm trying to get my bearings on this whole thing. Trying to figure out what is going to work best for this particular cat. I don't know if I had like level 10 research with Glalie. I sure as hell have it after this crap though. I'm also getting iron chunks, not bad. I think I lose all of them trying to fight Thunderous because I didn't realize I was picking up items. I kind of forgot I was picking up items, so. But the whole point is that you have to hit this thing with a sticky ball enough times to kind of get it to lower its shield. Just enough to either throw a Pokeball at it or initiate a battle. I don't initiate a battle with Tornadus here. I really don't. I actually managed to catch it without initiating battle. It might take me a couple tries to do that, but I do eventually do it. Bam, gotcha. Yeah, you gotta like hit it 3 times before it will give up the proverbial ghost here. As for the genies, they don't really give you a whole lot of reason as to why they're in Hisuiya at this particular time period. They're just kind of here. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not a big fan of any of them anyway. Like, realistically, I'm not a big fan of any of these genies at all. Even its flying form, I'm not a big fan of Tornadoes. Thunderous has a pretty cool design in his beast form, the dragon. Oh, it looks badass. However, Thunderous is like my most hated Pokemon of the group because this isn't the only time I've ever had a hard time with one. Pokemon Go, for whatever reason, I've caught all the Tornado guys except for Enamorus and Thunderous. I haven't had a chance to really fight Enamorus, so that's not really my fault per se on that one. But Thunderous I've actually fought, beat, and I could not catch for the life of me. Caught Tornadus, caught Landorus, have not caught Thunderous yet. So in Pokemon Go, it's a pain in the ass there too. But here we go, caught Tornadus. With Kagita, you do actually have to get level 10 research on these guys though. So it's not just a matter of, oh, you caught all of the genies, cool. No, you have to get level 10 research on all the genies, which is kind of a pain in the ass too. I cut out some of that footage as well, by the way. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm swatting at a fly or something, but... Yeah, but okay. What am I doing here? Everything's blinking, everything's moving. I must have been checking a guide or something, but like, this is weird. Oh, there we go. I had like 5 ninjas to fight, guys. I had to pause the game for a second. Jeez Louise. I don't remember what happened there. I just blanked out. I was pretty tired at the time. It was like way past my normal bedtime when I finally finished all this crap. So I might have been just tired, but... Yeah, I go to the Cobalt Coastlands next. Thunderous is not the next Pokemon I catch, just so we're clear. Thunderous gives me so much hell in this game. I'm going to shiny Togekiss again. I'm actually pulling out Tornadus. Again, got to get that research level to level 10, not 2. So I'm kind of looking into what I actually have to get with him, what I have to do with him. So I do eventually bring him onto the team. There's some of my shiny Pokemon. Oh, you can see I caught a Crobat. I don't know if you guys knew that. There's my second Hisuian Decidueye. I was hunting. Good faith hunting, you know. Yeah, I caught a Zubat. I did not see the dang thing at all. Like, I kind of saw movement flitting around, but I didn't really, like, register that it was a Pokemon or anything like that. If it wasn't for the shing, sparkle, sparkle, I would not have seen that damn thing. Same with Togetic. Togetic's garbage. I wouldn't have looked over and been like, yeah, sure, that's a shiny. So here I am, once again, trying to get a thunderstorm. The good news is, the first time I tried to do this, a thunderstorm did appear relatively quickly. It's after it that's a problem. It's a shame cast form doesn't show up in more games. You'd think it would. It doesn't, but you think it would. I'm exhausted today too, guys. I apologize. The reason I'm exhausted today is because we had like a huge, at my actual day job, we have these ice chests. And we decided to unthaw one of them. And basically what had happened is because of a bunch of ripped bags and nobody bothering to clean it out at the time, these ripped bags of ice turned into one big iceberg. And basically what we did was I took a tiny little like ballpoint hammer and sludged the hell out of it for a straight half hour before finally loosening it up enough to move the mats underneath it, which I didn't even realize those were mats at first. But we finally moved the mats underneath it and get a better angle and just shatter the heck out of it. And then dig all the ice out of there. But man, I'm straight half an hour just hammering as hard as I could. Oh man, I'm so tired today. But yeah, we got it done, so can't complain too awfully much, I guess. There goes Hisui and Quillowfish. I love Hisui and Quillowfish, by the way. I do not like Overquill, but I like Hisui and Quillowfish. One thing I do have to learn, and I'm not going to do it on camera or nothing, guys. It's not going to be like, episode bonus, whatever. No, I'm not going to do it. This is the last episode. But one thing I do have to figure out how to do is find a way to turn these guys into their animal forms. I got to find a way to do that, because I think that'd be fun. This is a real challenge, too. This guy gave me so much hell. I don't even know what killed me on this particular run. Like, I know I was hurting. But I don't know what exactly killed me. Like, that's such a fine line. Like, what was that? What exactly killed me? I don't know. I suddenly died for no particular reason. I didn't even see it on the replay. What happened there? No idea. No clue at all. So I skip it because I try and get that thunderstorm for like a good straight 20 minutes. And that's why there's a cut there. And I decide to go after Thunderous instead. Because I'm like, Thunderous doesn't need weather conditions. I can just go after him. And then I found out he's on this island, so I'm like, maybe I don't need a ride Pokemon to take Thunderous on. Even though Thunderous is considered to be the tougher of the three, he didn't give me as much trouble, I'm not going to lie. Thunderous always giving me trouble, man. If I ever play Pokemon Black and White, it'll probably be Thunderous that gives me the most crap. Just for the heck of it. I do try and throw an Ultra Ball there, but... See, his roar doesn't hurt me. Like, it makes it red, but it doesn't actually do damage. But for some reason, Thunderous does. And I think it's because I'm running into him, so I'm getting touch damage. But, like... Really? Like, you're moving so fast. How do you avoid touch damage on Thunderous? I don't understand that crap. Thunderous gives me easily the most problems. Enamorus is not much better because you do still need a ride Pokemon to deal with Enamorus. And you'll see what I mean. Bam! Pokeball, go! And there's Thunderous caught. Now, Thunderous also gives me trouble in that regard too, because there are a couple of times that I managed to get it to that point, where you can throw the Pokeball. And then I don't manage to actually catch it. So eventually I have to initiate battle. But you'll see in a minute, I'm sure. But yeah, no. Thunderous is quite the pain. Probably my favorite design, though. I know Landorus is better Pokemon in general. Landorus is a monster in competitive. Or at least it was back in the day. But yeah, no, Thunderous is my favorite designed one, with Landorus being a close second. Tornadus, I'm not a fan of Tornadus at all. I really am not. I'm sorry. That thing's so goofy. Even in its normal avian form, it still looks goofy as heck to me. Enamorus doesn't look too bad, though. I don't mind its genie form at all. So here I am skipping around. The reason I'm skipping is because, again, I fought long and hard to actually get to this point. So, notice this time, and I don't know how much I'll show this, but when I was riding around the last time, Gyarados kept respawning because it took me so long to get Thunderous. Gyarados started respawning. I actually cleared it out, and Gyarados kept respawning afterwards. So, inevitably, yeah, I just started taking out the Gyarados as time went on. Alright, I had to take a little bit of a break there, so I apologize if the audio recording isn't perfect by any means. But I'm hoping that I synced it up well enough, I suppose. Anyway, yeah, Thunderous. Jeez Louise, Thunderous, what a pain. So, basically the deal is that you have to more or less run your ride Pokemon closer to him. You can't sneak up on him. There's no way to sneak up on him on this one. The other two I could sneak up on. No problem. Here, you have to just ride as fast as you can up to him. He moves really, really fast, just so we're clear. And that makes things really difficult because, one, he's shooting tornadoes at you. But the only way to really catch him is to move fast as well. So you got these tornadoes that are hard as all hell to dodge. You got Pokemon spawning in and trying to kill you too. It's great. Yep, there's another Gyarados. So yeah, basically I just started taking on Pokemon as they spawned in, because it took me so long to actually even deal with Thunderous here. But yeah, he'll also spawn tornadoes at your location, and if you're not immediately moving at that moment, guess what? Here I try to catch him. Well, that didn't work. There's that. Then I gotta run up here. And see, he moves so fast that it's hard to get a good format and actually manage to dodge him. I should know better than to just run up on him, but I'm getting impatient. Here I am trying to catch him again. And that unfortunately doesn't work well either. So inevitably I'm getting sick of this bull crap too. Because unlike Thunderous and Thunderous, I can't seem to get him in a Pokeball very well. So I'm getting kind of fed up here. Eventually, if you notice, I'm skipping ahead again. Because I do die from that. Again, not sure what hits me. All of a sudden, I'll just take... Like, there's a couple of times I'm taking damage for no discernible reason. And it drives me up the wall. So, yeah. A lot of Thunderous fighting, for sure. And as you can see, I've gotten pretty good at actually hitting him, avoiding him for the most part. Waiting until I actually have a clear opportunity. Hitting him with a Pokeball. And never do I get a chance to actually, you know, use the Ultra Ball. Like, for whatever reason, he's the one that just does not want to sit in an Ultra Ball at all. And it's to the point where I'm getting fed up with this. I really am. Because I'm like, oh my gosh. Because, look at that. Like, he's so fast. There's not a lot of time to actually catch him off guard. That time I went right to him. I still didn't catch him off guard. So, a lot of times you have to be moving stupidly fast. Or just throw a thing and hope for the best. It's so annoying. And I'm taking damage, as you can see. I'm about to die again. I do end up dying, unfortunately. Because a tornado spawned just ever so slightly up on me. And I think that's what killed me the first time, too. Is he spawned a tornado. And despite the fact that it wasn't on camera, I couldn't see it. Basculegion still takes damage from it. Like, he's bigger than you think. And those tornadoes, like, for whatever reason, you don't have to be super close to them damn things to actually take damage. Which is, again, part of the frustration. And honestly, he kind of snipes you because of it. It makes things really frustrating. There's another Gyarados that I'm going to be taking on. Luckily, I'm at a high level, but Gyarados are still annoying because they can snipe you too. Our bigger dog is visiting us currently. Her name is Freya. She's the big German Shepherd that has shown up on a couple videos. The cat is currently greeting her in her own... Wow, hey! You don't have to knock over the or the microphone, dog. She's a little excited. Ah! Hey! Freya! Sit down, please. Sorry, guys. Jeez, between Freya and the cat, it's hard to record here. Sorry about that, guys. That tail attack. She basically hit the microphone with her tail and knocked it over, so that was fun. Anyway, let's see. Still on Thunderous? Of course I am. Because, again, Thunderous is the biggest pain here. And as you can see, all the Gyarados that I took out have respawned, so now I'm taking them out again, because that's what you have to do. I ran out of Leaf Storm at this point. Like I said, to use Brave Bird because Aura Sphere is not as effective. Freya, that's a cat toy. Hey, look at this. I'm up to like 10. I think I started out with like 5. Eventually I just started clapping Gyarados. And since I ran into moves with Decidueye, but I can't go Rest because I might lose the chance at Thunderous. So, yeah, this is just a taxing gruel. And what I should have done is I should have not chanced it to Pokeballs after like the second or third time and just thrown one of my Pokemon at him. Just straight on throwing one of my Pokemon at him. But I didn't because I'm stubborn and inevitably I get annoyed. The cat is not happy that Freya's here. She's trying to beat up Freya. The cat is about, I think, 2 pounds. Freya is about 90 pounds. So, unfortunately, if Freya ever decided to actually fight the cat, I don't think the cat would do well. As nimble as she is. Look at that. Just turning around. Like, here's the problem I have. Basculegion is not easy to turn at all. Like, it doesn't corner well whatsoever. This game is asking for precision with a control scheme that is not precise. So either you have to be really patient or really lucky. Or both. I'm not very lucky. Here we go. Now we're fighting Thunderous because I got annoyed at actually waiting up on this whole crap. So now I can throw as many Pokeballs as I want. And I just throw one, doesn't work, not shocking. He's getting mad. Okay. He's going to attack. He's got Crunch, which is probably his best move against Garchomp, I'm not going to lie. Since it's level 93, he attacked twice, meaning that he is actually really fast. Garchomp is really, really fast, guys. So Thunderous outspeeding him makes him pretty fast. I didn't even hit him. The second Pokeball worked. I'm like, oh my gosh. But finally, we caught Thunderous. We caught Garchomp. Yeah, we caught Garchomp. All right. I have a similar... I don't die to her, but I have a similar situation with Enamorus. So when we fight Enamorus, I do kind of skip around a little bit. Because it takes me forever to eventually defeat her, too. What do I like to do now? Return to the village. So what happens now is I'm going to cut from here. Kiki. Okay, Kiki. Freya's no longer in the room, but Kiki's mad because Mom's not in the room. But yeah, here's the cut. And, sorry. The cat's deciding to be bad. Whenever Mom's not in the room, the cat decides that it's going to be a pest. She's bad kitty. You know so much about Landorus, Tornadus, and even Thunderous. Well done. In more normal times, I would bid you let these three fly three's nature. But we have yet fresh from the tearing of space-time rift, until its after effects fade entirely. Perhaps it's better to keep our trio contained. And now it is time I tell you the rest. What is it? There is one more of that cohort. Come. More. This is Enamorous, a Pokemon hailed as the Herald of Spring. Enamorous is not particularly given to ill behavior, but I imagine you'd like to document her for your Pokedex, wouldn't you? She always flits about in the Crimson Mirelands. So, it doesn't outright state it here, but Enamorous is the one that gave Kagita the Pixie Plate. She might have said something if I'd actually talked with her, but I decided not to. I was eager to get this finished because Thunderous took forever. So this is the run that allows me to basically get Enamorous. I do try and sneak up on her a bit, to no avail. But yeah, Enamorous is a pain in the butt too, because of the area that she's in. You basically have to also use a ride Pokemon. This is me trying to like clear out the area a little bit. There's a couple of problems with that. One, this is the Mirelands, and the Mirelands are next to impossible to actually clear out for a prolonged period of time. Two, again, I find out relatively quickly that there's no way that you're going to get through the Mirelands and not have some problems. So, Enamorous also doesn't like to be contained by the Pokeballs like Landorus and Tornadus. Great! Oh, she's causing me a lot of grief. But what the deal is, what the strategy that I came up with is that you ride your ride Pokemon. Now notice I'm about to die. What I'll do at this point in time is retreat for a bit. Because again, weather conditions don't mean squat here. So I don't necessarily have to deal with moving weather conditions or anything like that. I can move away, let myself heal, and then go back after Enamorous. I'm not worried about that at all. The problem is that, again, the bogs are so... They tie you down so much that the only way to really keep up with her is a ride Pokemon. But you can't throw anything on top of a ride Pokemon unless it's Basculegion. So what you do is you get close enough to her with Weirdeer here, and when you do, you throw stuff at her. And yeah, you basically have to get close enough, despawn the Pokemon, and then throw things at her and hope that you're fast enough doing all this crap to not only dodge any other Pokemon's attacks, dodge her attacks, but also actually hit her. And I'm not going to lie, hitting her is an absolute pain in the butt. She is not easy to hit. Even when you have like a concrete strategy. Because that extra like millisecond, that extra half a second that it takes to despawn your ride Pokemon is long enough for her to just take off. I'm not going to lie. There were a couple of times that I despawned Weirdeer and then she'd just bolt. And I'm like, oh my gosh, really? Come on now. It was frustrating. Not as frustrating as Thunderous, but she was still an absolute pain to deal with. I'm not going to lie. Come on, cat. Don't do that. Ugh. Sorry, guys. The cat's kind of going crazy right now. She's a little hyped up and high-strung some days, so... Unfortunately, I have to play with her, or else she gets into places she ain't supposed to get into. In particular, a couple of times, she's actually tried to jump up on the PlayStation 5, which is a big no-no. But she tries and gets it in other places too, so... Here we go. Now I'm fighting Enamorous. There we go. I noticed that she is 100% female, so that's kind of cool. I was kind of wondering about that too, because I'm like, you know, Thunderous, Tornadoes, I don't know what gender they were. I didn't even know if they had a gender or not. But I can tell by here that they're all male. Enamorous is female. So that does kind of make some sense to me. And she's tough, too. She's actually tougher than the other... When it comes to battling, like, Thunderous, when I got him into a battle, it only took, like, 2 Pokeballs. Enamorous was a bit tougher in that regard. But I actually like Enamorous's genie form. She's not a carbon copy of those 3 down there. The Thunderous, Landorus, and Tornadoes. Those 3 look so much alike that it's like, okay, which color scheme do you like? Because the only real difference is their tails and their like facial hair is slightly different, but not really different enough to warrant, you know, really liking one above the other one. The only one that you're going to be like color scheme or Pokemon battling. So I suppose in that regard, Landorus is better in that form. And then if it's battling you want, well, his beast form is really, really good. But Thunderous's beast form, I like the design more. Now, in third place is definitely Enamorous's beast form. I'm not a big fan of it. I haven't unlocked it in this game, but I have seen it. Not the biggest fan of it. I like how I'm using a steel dragon type against a fairy type. Not sure what to think about on that one. Probably not my smartest move ever, but... Poor Goodra. It does not do well in this video. Oh, he's a good boy, though. Goodra's such a good boy. I love my ginormous Goodra. I have no idea what normal Goodra looks like in this game, honestly, because that's the alpha. I love Alpha Goodra so much that it was just a staple in my team after I caught it. But I don't know what the size variant is, so I have no idea what normal Goodra looks like. I have never evolved one. I should. I just haven't done it. Oh, Enamorous. She certainly did give me trouble, for sure. I think inevitably I do decide that it's the Enamorouse's catch rate is really, really low. So eventually I'm going to have to actually use moves to catch it. So I decide, you know what, Tornadoes, let's use an attack. Let's use a physical attack. It didn't do much at all. Then I decided to use Thunderous. So I already got these guys' research down. I don't know why I didn't switch out my team here. I recover Arcanine because I figure Arcanine was a good brunt to Enamorous's defensive crunch. Or his Enamorous's physical crunch. Because Arcanine's a rock type, gotta have good defense, although I'm not really sure offhand how good his defense actually is. But I also figure that Arcanine's fire typing would help against Enamorous's fairy typing. But yeah, Enamorous is friends with Kagita. That's where Kagita got the Pixie Plate from. But I gotta deal with this before I continue on to the next part of the game. Because there is one last Pokemon I gotta go deal with and catch once I finally get Enamorous. But I'm not gonna lie, guys. The genies, oh, they were a rough part for this whole thing. Oh, particularly, like I said, Thunderous and Enamorous were the worst ones. Landorus and Tornadoes weren't too awfully bad. but I can see how they could be bad. Particularly the tornadoes can be bad too, but there we go. Finally, I took a picture to celebrate, I guess. Didn't mean to do that, honestly, but yeah. So, there we go. I've caught every single Pokemon except for Arceus. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, it is time to go take on Arceus. There's my shiny skunk tank. I got both a stunky and a skunk tank. Oh, throat's drier than a bone now. Talking too much. Complete Pokedex at last. Almost call it a Sauron dex. Yeah, sure. I recall the message you received when you first fell down to this land. Seek out all Pokemon, was it not? Seems like you finally achieved this goal. So, where must you go now? Mount Coronet, to the Temple of Sinnoh. You'll find nowhere else in all of Hisui closer to the heavens. You are practically among the stars up there, as one of the very universe. Happened there, wonder? Scientific curiosity is positively rolling. But, well, it isn't my tale of adventure. It's yours. As for you and you alone to go and find out. We each have our separate duties. Yours to go to the Temple of Sinnoh, and mine is to give this Pokedex a jolly good read-through. Although I haven't filled out level 10 on all of them quite yet. Cool, more staring. I could have cut this out of the video. Didn't realize that was a problem. Again, an invisible ninjas attacked me. Although I was probably, after battling with Thunderous and Enamorous for almost an hour, I was probably just relieved to be done with them finally. Because it took me 2.5 hours to film this video. I cut an hour from it. That's how long it took me to actually deal with this crap. Thunderous and Enamorous. Oh. May I never have that many problems dealing with you guys ever again. One can only hope. But like I said, there's one more situation. And this is the final boss fight, guys. This is the secret final boss fight. There's 3 final bosses. 3 places where you could call it a final boss, more or less. I'm getting my team out. I end up not really needing them, but I'm preparing for sure. And it is up to the mountain I go. Now, the battle with Arceus is actually more like a battle with I want to call them totem Pokemon, but that's Sword, Sun, and Moon. The battle with the boy, my brain does not remember the name at all. Like Arcanine, Electrode, the Royal Pokemon, the ones that the Diamond and Pearl Clan are guarding Pokemon. I don't remember what they're called at all. But needless to say, Arceus is a lot like that. So it's a boss fight that's a bit more like what you've come to expect at this point. So that's kind of cool. I'm just picking up iron chunks for the heck of it while I'm going up here. That being said, I don't battle Arceus in one go through. That's out of my ability at the moment. But I do eventually defeat him. So they have a feature where you can just kind of continue the battle from whence you left off. And I continue to do that just to make sure that I battle him. Because at this point in time, I was tired. I was grumpy. I wanted nothing more than to finish this whole thing. We still got 15 minutes to go if you couldn't tell. So Yeah, I still had a ways to go, but I do like this fight. It's a good fight. It's challenging. It kicks my ass, sure. But unlike Thunderous, where I just died a couple times, I don't even know what the hell I hit. Or hit me. And Enamorous, where it was just annoying in general. Arceus, I felt, was actually really fair. Tough, yes. Challenging, oh yeah. But fair. And that's where things get a bit different. I don't mind tough Pokemon. Or tough boss fights. I just want them to be fair to my abilities, you know? Oh, Arceus, I'm here. Come to destroy the world. Oh, wait, no, that was the other guy. It's funny how Volo acts like he's worshipping Arceus, but then wants to subjugate Arceus' power. Him and I have a whole different ball game of worship. There he is. I knew you were going to show up eventually. You were in the title, bro. And the whole reason I'm doing this at this point, because I kind of beat the game twice, in my opinion, or got to the 2 points where you could call it a final boss fight. The reason I got to this fight is because Legends Arceus, I'm going to actually call the video, the review of this, Sauron Takes on Arceus. And there's no point in calling it Sauron Takes on Arceus if you don't actually fight Arceus. Now, that being said, I didn't actually know there was going to be a fight here, per se, but I had to show at least once in the video Arceus. Now, this takes forever to load. I don't know why. Like, for whatever reason, this boss fight is like the slowest loading boss fight here. I'm also very unaware of what I'm supposed to be doing dodging-wise. I kind of get the general gist of it, but I'm not good at it until way later. But needless to say, I get my butt kicked. Part of that's just me being too eager too, but like right here, I don't have to hit him 100 different times doing that. I can just hit him the one time. The problem is that when he starts up this attack, he kind of just does it very suddenly. So if you're too close to him trying to get hits in, this attack can catch you off guard pretty effortlessly. But once you get the rhythm down, it's not too awfully bad. He's not my favorite mythical or anything like that, but I do like Arceus' design. Now here, I keep forgetting how to deal with this kind of crap. I run from him like an idiot, and I shouldn't be doing this. I should have just dodge rolled over it and started beating him up, because I could have gotten into a Pokemon battle with him, beat him up, and then go from there. I also don't click continue battle. I actually just click restart the battle, so I restarted the whole thing on this one. But I do eventually just start continuing the battle, so it saves some of my progress. Like I said, very challenging boss fight. I actually did enjoy this. And he does get harder as the fight progresses, too. It's a tough fight. It's a long fight, too, but I had fun with it. Just shoot meteors and everything like that. I suppose I should talk about some of the things I like from this game. One, in my opinion, this is technically a Gen 4 remake. They take what is essentially the wild area from Sword and Shield and run with it with a whole brand new story. And then did Gen 4 remakes that were very similar to the original game. I think they were too similar to the original games. That's my opinion. But, run, Sauron, run! I forgot he did this attack. He only did it like once. But they were too similar to the original games, which caused some problems. Whereas, like, let's say the ORAS remakes or Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire remakes, really good. They took what worked from, you know, Ruby and Sapphire. They were remakes of Ruby and Sapphire, but they took elements from Emerald and added them in there too. And that was a good idea. Diamond and Pearl didn't do that. To my knowledge, there aren't a whole lot of elements from Pokemon Platinum in that particular game. Look at him right in the eye. Yeah, I kind of didn't realize he was charging that move up until way too late. But yeah, one thing I do like is that I do like the lineup of Pokemon Gen 4 Pokemon. They're not my favorite generation by any means. I love the starters. The starters are fantastic. Like, Gen 4 starters are amazing. And I do like the new forms of the starters that we get here, too. So, like, the new Decidueye is really cool. The original Decidueye is better, but I still like Decidueye enough to like and appreciate the new form. The new form of Typhlosion is awesome, honestly. Oh, I died. And then the new form of Samurot's pretty cool too, although I'm not a big fan of Samurott one way or the other. But that's still, you know, whatever. The original Diamond and Pearl starters are really good. Infernape is cool. Torterra's badass. Empoleon's really cool. I love Empoleon. So, I like those Pokemon. There's a couple of Pokemon lines in this game that I like. Yes, Garchomp and Lucario are part of everybody's favorite Pokemon families. I'm not that different, I guarantee you. I love Garchomp, love Lucario. I like Croagunk and Toxicroak too, actually. When it comes to the legendaries, however, that's where things kind of fall apart for me. Regigigas has a lot of lore. Not the biggest fan of its design or its battle strategies. Heatran, I like its design and battle strategies, but it doesn't have enough lore to it. It's just there. And even in this game, it didn't add any lore to Heatran. Cresselia just kind of shows up in this game too. Cresselia's got a decent amount of lore. I don't mind its design, but it's not like a favorite of mine either. Even some of the mythicals, I'm not a big fan of. I like Shaman and I like Darkrai. Not a fan of Manaphy. Just not a fan of it. Fion is just a worse Manaphy, so of course I'm not a fan of that either. Arceus, I don't mind its design. It's got some cool parts to it, but there's definitely some goofier parts to it as well. Overall, I do like Arceus, but it's not like a favorite of mine. I'd take Darkrai and Shaman over Arceus any day. What else we got? The Lake Guardians are just lesser Mews. That's all they are to me. They look like Mew, not as cool as Mew. What I'm not doing here is looking up and seeing that, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be actually hitting this guy. That's my bad, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I ate that hit. Then I ate that hit, too. Luckily, I got him down the gauge enough to save this progress. But, yeah, I'm not a fan of the Lake Guardians. I'm not a fan of Regigigas. The ones that I'm really a big fan of are, ironically, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina. I don't mind Palkia. I do like its design. But I like Dialga's better. And I like Giratina's way better. Giratina is my favorite Pokemon out of this whole generation when it comes to the legendaries. And the new forms, interesting. They look more like Arceus, which is cool, and I'm sure that's the point. That was a snipe hit. Thanks, Arceus. I didn't even realize. But yeah, they're alright. I think Dialga, once again, kind of won out. I do think Palkia's is an improvement, but I'm still not the biggest fan of it. Is what it is, I suppose. Giratina still wins at the end of the day. And then they added in, for this particular game, the Therians, or the genies. I call them the genies. They're originally from Gen 5, or Unova, but they somehow ended up here in Hisuiya for no particular reason. Not a big fan of them. I'm not the biggest fan of them. I like their Therian forms, aka, I think that's what they call their beast forms. I just call them beast forms and genie forms because I can't remember the names fully. Their beast forms are better, for sure. Their genie forms, meh. They're okay, but they're not great. Don't hate them. Don't like them much. Enamorus is definitely better, but... Now notice it said, send out your Pokemon to do battle, and I was trying to do that, but I actually took it out while I was trying to get that done, so I did defeat it there. And now I got Arceus. Haha. Again, none of these Pokemon I hate. I don't hate any Gen 4 Pokemon by any means. Maybe Purugly, but that's beside the point. Even though I have a shiny of it. Like, I still love Arceus. Absolutely. Arceus is a solid design. It's just that when it comes to, like, my favorite mythicals, Arceus is kind of lower on that list. Not gonna lie. The lore behind Arceus is amazing. The design is not bad. So I do like Arceus. I just like Shaman's design better, even though it has very little lore. And I like Darkrai's design better, which also has a decent amount of lore to it. So there you go. I'm not going to read this. I'm exhausted and I'm going too fast. Arceus is basically just saying, wow, you must really like this world that we created here. Why don't I travel with you? Yeah, let me be a part of this whole situation. He also kind of mentions that this isn't like Arceus. It's just kind of like a solid form of his, or a piece of him. But yeah, this is just like a piece of Arceus. That's all it really is. A piece of his power. There you go. Now, is Arceus actually strong enough to obliterate the entire world that he created? I don't know. No idea. But that's a wrap, honestly. When it comes to Hisuian Pokemon, like the newer Hisuian Pokemon, Zorua and Zoroark have such good designs in this game, it's disgusting. I like Zoroark, and then I saw the new, like, Hisuian Zoroark, and now I don't know if I really like the original Zoroark anymore, because the Hisuian one's so good. Again, Overquill I don't like, but Quillifish I do like. I like Lilligant, for sure. Ursaluna, love Ursaluna, even though it kind of got replaced by Blood Moon Ursaluna. The Next Generation in Scarlet and Violet, lovely. Yeah. Again, don't hate any of these Pokemon. Not my favorite setup. Oh, Sneasel's a good one, too. Hisuian Sneasel is amazing. But, yeah, again, not my favorite generation. Gen 4, when it comes to Pokemon designs, is not bad by any stretch of the word. But it's not... There's my shiny Rowlet. Haha. So cute. Shiny Dartrix, and then shiny Hisuian Decidueye. Which I kind of like. I'm glad I have it, honestly. It's a good shiny to have. But, yeah, again, not my favorite. Is what it is. I still love Gen 4 Pokemon. I have nothing but respect for Gen 4 Pokemon. My favorite generation when it comes to Pokemon designs is actually Gen 3. Gen 4 is probably somewhere up there. But that's it. That's the end. I've done pretty much everything I could in this game. So, yeah. thank you everyone for watching this series. There's my Rhyperior now. He was a Rhydon, but now he's a Rhyperior. But yeah, thank you everyone so much for watching this series with me. And we'll catch you in the next series, which is going to be Super Mario Galaxy. Take care. Bye-bye.